Last time up at the ranch, Chris and his dad finally wrapped up all the plumbing and wood boiler lines, got everything backfilled to move on to the next steps of prepping the rest of the ground to hopefully being able to pour our concrete slab to our new home soon. Come along as Chris has a brilliant idea of a new purchase to help us get farther ahead.
Alright, so we're at the stage where we're ready to backfill our plumbing, and I needed to order some more gravel in order to do so. I figured I had another couple truckloads. Kind of contemplated if I wanted to order more gravel, just because you're paying quite a bit for transporting. And then I'd always kind of looked at getting a screener since we got so much gravel here on the property. And I was on Facebook Marketplace, and lo and behold, one came up that we went and took a look at out in Merritt, and it looked like it would be something that would work for us. Today we had it delivered, so we're trying to set it in place. Here's a look at it now. Get it set in place and then see if we can run some gravel today. Alright, let's give this a try. Hopefully this conveyor is not too high that everything just rolls back, but let's try it and see. Well, I thought it was going good, but like everything else, you start and then something seems to go wrong. It's sorting it nicely on the end, other than, you know, it would be nice to have a divider here. But you know, we've got our sand mix, then we've got our clear drainage rock, and then we got our bigger stuff. Obviously you can see we got a lot of sand in there. Geez, that's nice. But here's our issue. I was feeding it and then I was looking at the top, wondering why is it jamming up so much there on the top. I don't know if you can see. And then I realized it's because we're jammed full. Because too many of these big rocks are getting through. Because the rock here is very irregular and it's all river rock, so they're kind of thin one way but then really big, and then they jam up the hole. So I've got that hopper half full and I don't know if I want to try running it and seeing if it'll clear. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go grab the pry bar and see if I can wiggle some of those out of there, and hopefully then when I fire it up it moves. On the other hand, we got a leak here that's pissing hydraulic fluid somewhere, and the mosquitoes are coming out, so I'll have to see if we can fix that. Alright, so we're back from heading to town. It took us 3 hours to get to town and find some parts to get this screener all fixed up. Looks like it's just an easy fix. I would say somebody probably pulled it apart and forgot to put one of the 4 seals in, little O-rings, and that's why she was puking out oil. So we got 4 new O-rings for this guy. We're going to slam her back in, fire it up. I also bought 2 new belts because they looked kind of rough. We'll put those on and then see how it runs. Good morning, guys. A little chilly again this morning. Guess that's going to be a sign that it's going to be a nice warm day. Anyways, we got the inside all compacted yesterday, backfilled with all our plumbing. Rough ends are backfilled. We got the wood boiler pipe in the back there, right there. We got that strung up right now with some straps just holding it in place, and we compacted around it. I think I'll leave the strap on probably until I get some of this rock in here. So our next step is to get our radon pipe in. That's gonna be everywhere basically but the garage doesn't need it, and that's just to get any of the radon gas that comes out of the ground into that pipe, and then it gets run up, and we'll run it probably beside this 4-inch stack inside a wall, and it gets vented through the roof. And then after that's in place, then we got to fill this with 4 inches of gravel and then a layer of poly, and then we're ready for another inspection. That's all the gravel I got. I tried making some gravel last night and I basically just made sand. There's so much sand in this ground, I would probably say 85% of it's sand, that after an hour and a half I kind of stopped and I think I need to reevaluate. So according to the inspector that came out last time, all that's required for the radon pipe is basically we have to have 1 pipe in any of the living spaces. That being said, you know, we've gone a little overkill, but at the same point, I'm saying no to radon for the extra 2 or 3 lengths of pipe. At least I know it's fully covered now. The only exception is I still have to get into this pantry room, which, as you can see, I've got a concrete wall in my way. Now, most of you would say, well, let's just cut it, and that's great, but A, my saw is not here because the thing has some issues and isn't working, and I haven't taken it in the last 3 or 4 years to get serviced. I think it needs a new magneto. So I'm gonna see if brute force can chip away at this, kind of like how we did with this 4-inch stack. That guy probably took me 3 hours of chipping. I'm gonna try a bigger sledge and see if I can somehow knock it out. Well, that was fun. Let's hope that's the end of putting pipes in concrete. It did go a lot quicker that I grabbed the bigger sledge, and then actually the mini sledge worked better, but that's as far down as I can go. I hit rebar, so you know, I would have liked to have gone another inch, but I think it'll do. So let's run this line and wrap this up and get some gravel going. All right, so we got our radon pipe all in. We've leveled it out to the height it needs to be at. There you can see the white stack there. That's going to vent up through the second floor, through the roof and out the roof. So our next stage is to get the gravel in here. I've ordered a truck that should be here sometime this morning. Basically, we need to set it to the height, to the top of this pipe all the way around, nice and flat. And then it's putting 20-foot wide sheets of poly down and taping everything to all these stacks. So hopefully I can do that by myself. Hopefully the wind doesn't pick up and we get everything done for tomorrow. Hopefully the guy's going to come by and inspect it. So we got the local gravel company to drop us off a load of 1-inch radon rock. I told them that I needed a truck and a pup, and instead he sent an old guy with a truck and a puppy. No joke. So I had to call the owner back and remind him he was supposed to send the pup, and now I'm waiting for that. So we made it most of the way, as you can tell, but we're a little short, and that's just in the main house. I haven't even done the garage yet, which I'm kind of debating if I can get away with not having it done for tomorrow's inspection, or if he's going to want to see that. Sorry, I'm just adjusting the camera. If he's going to see that, want to see that to sign off. So I'm not looking forward to putting this poly down. I know it's going to be a royal pain in the butt. Initially I was thinking I would run my rolls this way, but looking at it now, I almost wonder if I run it lengthwise this way. However, I don't have 20 feet of section done.
Yeah, yeah. Baila, baila conmigo, que yo el paso te sigo. Seamos más que amigos, amigos, amigos. Solo tú me sigues al ritmo de la pista, y yo me veo como chica de revista. Bebe conmigo, a ti se te va la pista. Puedo quemarte solo con una pizca. Arriba y abajo, uy, el ritmo apagamos. Arriba y abajo, el ritmo apagamos nunca. Baila.
Alright, well, we're running down to the wire. We got gravel done. Ended up getting the owner there. He drove out the second load, so that was nice. Whether or not we have enough for the garage, that's all I got left over there, but I started putting some here earlier, and then now I just realized the garage slab is, I believe, I gotta double check, but I believe it's 4 inches lower than what the house is, so I actually don't need as much as what I put here. And the thought that I thought I needed a lot to go in here, but actually I might just need a a little bit of a skim coat. I may have to pull out some of these boulders that I chucked in here to build it up. So I got this one sheet of poly out. It wasn't the most fun. Sure enough, as soon as I started, the wind picked up, but I think I got her locked down pretty good now. And then the next two pieces, well, the next one for sure is going to be relatively easy, and then the one after that, there's only a couple pieces to cut. So let's get those knocked out, and then we'll decide what we're going to do on the garage. So we stayed up late last night and we woke up early this morning to grade out this garage. It didn't really need a lot of gravel. I actually had to take a whole bunch away and some big boulders that were sitting kind of high. So we got that all done. We're gonna roll out our 1.5 sheets of poly, get that all taped off, and then hopefully this guy shows up today. Alright guys, we are done with the radon pipe and the poly. We managed to have enough gravel. I ended up, the stuff I ran the other night, there was about a 1.5 bucket load, which was just enough to finish the garage. So now we wait and hope the inspector comes and everything looks good. So we will get cleaned up, start putting some stuff away, and wait. Alright guys, so we're back at it again. We're waiting for the inspector to show up this morning and check out our radon pipe, see if he'll sign off on that. Meanwhile, I figured since we don't have any radon pipe in the garage, I could start doing some of the styrofoam and the rebar for that. So I've got majority of the styrofoam down. It goes pretty quick. It is a bit of a pain that I used the bigger gravel here because we kind of ran out. They didn't send me enough, so some of the spots it's a little wobbly, so I had to kind of try to move it around underneath the plastic, stomp it down a bit in order to get the styrofoam to sit kind of flat. So we got a bit more to finish over there in the corner, and then we'll start laying out our rebar on our grid and start tying that. And then hopefully this guy shows up quick and we can start on the main part of the house. Alright, so as you can see, I got my Taliban hat on. The mosquitoes here are just insane. Normally they die off, you know, at night time, and they don't start picking back up until 4, but for some reason they decided we're going to start at 8, and they're just swarming. And I mean, like, you got 40 to 60 of them on you at all times trying to do anything. There's no wind right now, so I think that plays a role in why there's so many. But as you can see, we've got the rebar in, the mesh on top, our rebar chairs, everything's tied, and we're still waiting for this mysterious inspector. Supposed to be here between 9 and 10, he told me. It's now 11:15. I'm tired of waiting for this guy, so I'm just gonna start, and if he has a problem, I'll just tell him, hey, you should have been here. So we're gonna get started on the house part, putting the styrofoam down. I think we're gonna start off in the corner over there in the dining room, work our way back slowly and see how that goes. Hopefully these mosquitoes die down, because this is not enjoyable.
After waiting for hours for the permit inspector to come and sign off on the radon piping, Chris finally got the okay, and we passed to move forward with the styrofoam and rebar.
Alright guys, so I really don't get it. I woke up super early this morning before the sun was even out, because I figured I got all this rebar still to tie, the wire mesh to put in the chairs, and I wanted to beat the mosquitoes coming out this morning. And I managed to get all the rebar in, got the wire mesh down. I had the occasional mosquito, but nothing like it's been. And now it's you know, looks like it's around 9:30 and there's still nothing. So I don't know if today's maybe a holiday for them, but there's none here. But anyways, we got everything done except for the rebar chairs I brought up were 1.5 inches, and because our styrofoam's sitting a little higher, I had some 1.25 inch ones up here that I would prefer to finish the rest with. Not only that, but once I started laying the wire mesh, I quickly remembered that I should have put the chairs in already, so it's a bit of a pain trying to get those underneath while I'm stepping on everything. So I'm gonna pick up some smaller ones down the valley, and then when my nephew comes up next week with me, we'll quickly fire those in and then finish or start doing the in-floor heat, which we need to wrap up next week because I'm hoping to get poured. So I think that's about it for us for this trip. Shorter than I thought, but that's always a bonus, other than rushing to try to get it done because you think you don't have enough time.
Stay tuned for more videos on the build of our off-grid homestead.